My parents divorced when my sister, 20, and I, 19, were little kids. She met her husband 3 years after the divorce. He was a widower with a baby son. I think he was 7 months old when they met. She instantly moved them in and started claiming his son as her own and raising him like us. She got engaged to him, and our dad died a few weeks before their wedding. Mom didn't even postpone the celebration. By this point, my mom had become estranged from her extended family. She told my dad's parents that if they wanted to see us again, they would need to come to her wedding and include all 3 of us, including my stepbrother. She then told them after the wedding that in the future, if they wanted to see us or spend time with us, they would need to include him. They didn't want to, so they tried to argue for time with just us, offering to pay for everything. But my mom said no. She then said they needed to come to the house and make an effort with all 3 of us, not just take 2 with them. My sister and I would argue with our mom over one day, in particular my dad's birthday. We celebrated that every year with my dad's family after he died, but she wouldn't let that day just be for us and them. Our stepbrother had to be there too. She said they didn't get to be just our family, and we shouldn't see him as any less deserving of being present. But we did. He wasn't our dad's child and he never met him. So why was he worthy of being there? I never understood that. She called us selfish for our mindset. Last year, I turned 18 and moved in with my girlfriend. Once I left home, my stepbrother was no longer invited to anything involving my dad's family. He no longer saw them. So my sister and I stopped spending time at my mom's house and eventually stopped speaking to them. It was quiet for several months. And then last week, my mom showed up at my workplace and demanded that we talk. She told me how she was tired of one of her kids being left out, and how it was wrong to discard him that way. She asked why my sister and I weren't advocating for him. I told her that she only had one child, her stepson, and that my sister and I were no longer her children. My family was no longer forced to include him in order to see us, and it was all her fault for forcing it in the first place. Then I sarcastically wished her luck and asked her to leave. She texted me later that night to say that she had been a good mom to all 3 of us, and that it was low of me to say she only had one child. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot. Get over yourself and this idea that my stepbrother is not really my family. You should be ashamed of yourself. Blended families are not easy, but it seems like your mom was trying to make sure that all of her children were treated equally. No matter what adults were involved in your lives at any given time, trust me, that's no small feat. Exactly. OP, I'm sorry for your loss. And while it wasn't right for your stepbrother to come to your annual birthday celebration for your father, making sure the stepbrother wasn't left out of other family activities was the right move. Honestly, what I think you all need is family therapy, so you can work out these issues in a controlled environment. Am I going bananas? Your mom was messed up for not postponing that wedding and making everyone go celebrate, especially while grieving. Your mom nearly caused you to lose half of your extended family, and she needed a reality check. OP, you're not the idiot, and I don't know why everyone is saying that you are. You tried for years to get your mom to listen to you about being forced to include your stepbrother. She didn't listen, and now you're no contact. If she didn't want to lose 2 of her children, she shouldn't have treated them like their feelings didn't matter. Should you have said what you said? Probably not. But if you and your sister are both no contact, it's true, and she'll have decades to rationalize it. Agreed. This was not a mom just struggling with a blended family like everyone else is saying. This was your mom repeatedly trampling your boundaries and including your stepbrother on the only day meant to celebrate your dead dad for years. Some people struggle with blending a family. This was just bad parenting. I also feel bad for the stepbrother. OP's mom pushed him to view that side of OP's family as part of his own, knowing that they didn't really want him there. Not saying that I think they should still include him, but that poor child. There was no reason to force the stepchild into the mix. Trying to erase your father was an idiot move. And now she's upset because she's dealing with the consequences of her crappy parenting. I, a 50-year-old female, told my daughter 24 she needed to pay rent. She got out of college in February and struggled to find a job until October. I supported her during the job hunt, and she's been living back home, rent-free. I was excited for her finally finding the job, especially when it was surprisingly well-paying. However, she told us she won't get paid until late this month. I said it was fine, but she still needed to pay rent. The other day, she told me she planned a trip with her friends and was saving for plane tickets. I reminded her again that she still needed to pay rent, as it felt like she was trying to avoid paying rent, so she could save money for this trip. She told me she'd pay the rent, but deducted her credit card bill. Apparently, she wanted me to pay her credit card bill first, then keep the rest as rent. I told her it was unacceptable. She rolled her eyes and tried to walk away. In the heat of the moment, I said some unfortunate things. At the end of the fight, she finally agreed to pay the rent and her own credit card bill. My daughter has become extremely distant since she started working overtime almost all week. I tried to talk to her. I even told her she could keep her original plan, but she just kept fixating on the things I said, either ignoring my message or telling me how I misunderstood her and made her feel bad. My husband thinks I'm the idiot because he thinks our daughter was already stressed, and I keep reminding her of rent money she didn't have. Demanding rent in a fight made me the villain. Today she handed me a stack of cash, rent and credit card bill included. I tried to tell her the money will be in a family savings account. She rolled her eyes and said she didn't care. She then cut up the credit card I was managing the bills for. My husband gave me an "I told you so" look. I honestly don't think I deserve any of this treatment. I love my daughter very much, but I can't help but wonder if my husband was right. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. My parents had me start paying rent when I was 20. It was a small amount at first, but it really helped me to start learning to take care of my things myself while still having a safety net. Your daughter is a grown woman. It's time for her to take responsibility. You are the idiot because you didn't explain what unfortunate things you said during the fight. It must have been nasty, or you wouldn't be hiding it. It also seems like you feel guilty for what you said because you've been backtracking with her and telling her it's going into a special account. It's not unreasonable to expect your adult daughter to contribute rent now that she has a job. But I think you're old enough to disagree with someone without getting personal. I also think if it was just about the rent, she wouldn't still be upset with you. The only person in this situation with all the information, your husband, clearly thinks you're the idiot. You're not telling us how much rent you're asking for, or what bad things you said during this fight. When you were given the money she worked extra hours for, you told her it would go into a savings account you set up. You flat out let everyone know it wasn't necessary for household expenses. It's entirely reasonable to expect an adult child to contribute to household costs while they still reside with their parents. If that were the only issue at play here, and you were forthcoming about it, this would easily put you in the clear. Obviously you're trying to make yourself look better, so I will have to side with your husband. My wife and I were invited to my brother's 31st birthday. He's single and lives alone in his apartment. So to give you a heads up, my wife and my brother don't get along well, but they can be civil enough to sit at the same table. So we went and had dinner and talked, and everything was going well. No argument, nothing, until after my wife went to use the bathroom. Later, my brother went to use the bathroom and came back looking angry. He kept giving my wife and me looks, but I didn't know what was going on, until he pulled me aside before we left and told me that my wife had left her used pad in his bathroom trash can. I was shocked and didn't know what to say, because this felt highly inappropriate. He said he didn't appreciate what my wife did and that it was a sign of disrespect towards him. I apologized profusely and said I didn't know about it. Then he asked me to speak to her, or she wouldn't be welcome in his place anymore. We got in the car, and I asked my wife about it. She said nothing was wrong with what she did, and that my brother was being ridiculous. So I kind of flipped and told her it was very inappropriate for her to leave her belongings in his place, even if it was in the bathroom and in the trash can, because it made him uncomfortable. She yelled, asking what she was supposed to do. And I told her she could have taken it with her or thrown it outside, not in his bathroom. That's my brother's place, and he told me how he felt about it. She yelled at me, calling my brother a moron and me an idiot for getting in her face about it. She said she needed to use the bathroom, and it's not like the pad was visible, since she disposed of it in the trash can. At home, we continued to argue about it, and she kept calling me and my brother names. She's currently not speaking to me and is avoiding me entirely. Regardless, it's his place, and he has the right to express what makes him uncomfortable in it. I want to emphasize the fact that, as guests, we should respect people's homes, and not argue about what makes them uncomfortable. He said it made him uncomfortable, and that should, in my opinion, be acknowledged. So am I the one in the wrong? She did what? I thought maybe she stuck it on the underside of the toilet seat, so that when he lifted it up, it would be there like a surprise? But no, she threw it away in the bin that is meant for trash. Like what? My guy, what? You are the one in the wrong. Seriously, what is it with people who spend their bathroom breaks searching through bins? Please explain the logic to me like I'm 5, because I am completely lost. This thing is too disgusting to put in the bathroom trash can, so you would rather that she put it in her pocket or purse, or just carry it around instead? It's too disgusting for the literal trash can, so she should carry it on her person during a birthday party? Won't someone consider this poor man's delicate eyeballs? He's single and lives alone in his apartment. I wonder why. OP, you and your brother are both acting like children, and it seems like your wife and brother don't get along because he is misogynistic and lacks common sense. By supporting this ridiculous behavior, you are showing your wife a major red flag. Seriously, I would reconsider being married to someone who is so irrational. My 32-year-old sister, her 28-year-old husband, and I are happy to have them stay with us for a few weeks after they lost their apartment due to medical debts for their child, my nephew. However, yesterday at 7 p.m., my husband rushed into the kitchen and told me that he saw my sister and her husband walk out of the bathroom. They had most likely taken a shower together. My husband didn't mention hearing anything. He just saw them get out of the bathroom. And yes, they were clothed. My husband said it bothered him, and I agreed that their actions were somewhat inappropriate. He asked me to speak to my sister, and I did. She got defensive and asked how their showering together was affecting us. I explained that it made my husband uncomfortable, and we would prefer if they took their showers separately. She started ranting about being overwhelmed by their son's health problems and not having any alone time as a married couple. She saw showering together as a bonding activity. I apologized for how she felt, but requested that she respect our boundaries. Instead, she got angry and accused me of being inconsiderate. She didn't understand why my husband had a problem with what she and her husband did. We argued, and she stormed off to the guest room where my nephew and brother-in-law were staying. She's not speaking to me, but my husband believes I did the right thing by speaking to her and setting this boundary. Are we overreacting? It's the only bathroom in the house, and according to my husband, they spend approximately 10 minutes in the shower. Your husband came rushing in to tell you that your sister and her husband took a shower together? Thank God he was there to catch that. Just think of all the sins he stopped. This is ridiculous. Leave them alone. They're already stressed enough. You and your husband are being unreasonable. Wait, let me get this straight. Their child is so ill that they lost their home to cover his treatment, and you're upset because they walked out of the bathroom together? What exactly bothers your husband about them showering together? Why did he feel the need to rush in and tell you about it? And why is he timing them in the shower? Are you trying to save hot water? Your husband is either jealous or projecting his own issues onto them. I'm embarrassed for you. You basically announced to the whole world that you and your husband have a boring and vanilla intimate life, and he's horrified by 2 consenting adults showering together. Poor sister. This couple just lost their home and is in serious medical debt. They have a very sick child. The chances of their marriage surviving are slim. Surviving this immense stress and hardship that they are experiencing is statistically low. Can we have some compassion for these people? Can you leave your hang-ups behind and give them support and space? Can you find happiness in the fact that they are making time and effort to spend together? What is more important here? Seriously, you and your husband need to get over this ridiculous hang-up. I, a 21-year-old female, recently found out I am pregnant and approaching the 6-month mark. It is a complicated pregnancy and I am exhausted. My 28-year-old boyfriend moved in with me because of it. It was unexpected, but we are making it work. I'm training to be a teacher, and he is currently looking for employment. Technically, I am working 2 jobs to support both of us, but it is tiring. But he is also looking for a job, so it's not just on me. There is a local burger place that I have been wanting to go to. We rarely go, but I have been having cravings. They close at a specific time. He agreed to go and even offered to order since they only have one veggie burger that I like. It is not like there are multiple options for me. They close at 9 p.m., I get home at 8:40 p.m. and he had not ordered yet. By the time he went to order, it was too late. I started crying because I had been craving it all week, and all I wanted was a burger and a hot shower. I could not even take a shower because he used all the hot water. He did not apologize and instead offered to go to Burger King, which I did not want. He got silent and claimed I was being an idiot because he had been job hunting all day. As I see it, my day started at 6 a.m. and ended when I got in bed at 9:30 p.m. His day started at 9 a.m. and ended at 9:30 p.m., but I have the extra weight of pregnancy. We got into an argument about comparing our days and how overwhelmed he is. I asked him to leave because I do not like arguing, and he had to stay in his car since he moved in with me away from his friends. He argued that I was blowing it out of proportion because I am pregnant, and not considering his feelings because he is overwhelmed. But so am I. My friends say I am the idiot because he is probably in over his head and had to sleep in his car over a burger. When you said that you got pregnant and he moved in, I assumed it was to help you and start a family. Apparently that is not the case at all. I am going to be very harsh here. He needs to stop talking about finding a job and actually find one. You need to stop working 2 jobs to support him. Your job is to support the baby, not him. Actually, that is his job as well. You may notice I have not discussed the burger, and that is because it is irrelevant. You are not the idiot, but you need to take a step back and evaluate your options. He spent all day gaming and only took a shower right before you got home to appear productive. OP, please listen to the advice. When your baby arrives, your boyfriend isn't going to change. It's likely to worsen. He needs to get a job and help at home in a meaningful way. He should do what he says he will, and apologize when he messes up. I'd give him a timetable for these things, and kick him out permanently if they don't happen well before the baby arrives. What was he overwhelmed by? Job applications? And how many interviews has he had while job hunting all this time? The dude has nothing going on, and can't even have dinner ready for you when you get home from carrying him and your child. Girl, I have to say this, you are pregnant, working 2 jobs, and your boyfriend is unemployed. I'm seriously wondering if all his crying was just about the burger. This is gonna be your life soon. Why are you bringing this man into the fold? What is he really doing for you? He's 28 without a job, and you have a baby coming in 2 to 3 months. There's no way he spent all day looking for work. He could be working at the burger place up the road right now if he wanted a job. But nope, he has you to take care of him. Kick him out,